But in regards to this company, so you scaled it, and then it got to the point where you eventually exited for 30 mil.
30 mil is the valuation, yeah.
So how did that happen? I want to know how you managed to successfully exit.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's one of those ones. Selling a business is crazy. If I could go back and do that again, I should have appreciated what I had. Like, people hear 30 mil valuation, and long story short, I took care of some people. There was an earn out. I put like 23 in my pocket, and so that's life changing for anyone at that age. I hadn't paid myself well, but building a company to that level, that's like the hard part. I think I left 100 plus on the table, taking it to the next level. So I always got to start this story with that caveat. You know, I really think any young entrepreneur in a good spot, don't let the anxiety or stress get the most of you. Like, take a step out, you know, zoom out and kind of see what you're building. But anyways, that whole process, Amazon brands are starting to become popular. Like, private equity is seeing that the numbers here are real. Kind of like I said, old brands are falling by the wayside. This seems to be the future. This whole Amazon thing is here to stay. And so they start coming in and kind of making unsolicited offers. So I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I didn't go shop it, anything like that. This private equity fund came in, they bought my manufacturer, then they basically hand me a term sheet. They're like, you know, the manufacturer calls me, they're like, hey guys, or hey Rob, you know, these guys want to talk to you. Have one call with them, and a week later I get an email telling me that, you know, these are the terms, and if you want to move forward, we'll move into due diligence. And so, yeah, sign that contract, and the next 6 months were them tearing apart my business, making sure everything's real, audits, like all that type of stuff before I ultimately get the check. And so it was not an awesome process.
Yeah. It's interesting that the amount of work you have to do in preparation for a sell.
That's horrible. It's horrible. And we didn't do any of that, right? Like, a lot of people would be like, hey, I'm ready to sell. I'm getting ready to sell. So I'm going to take the first 6 months to, you know, get a CFO in there and this and that. And I'm just this kid, kind of like, I didn't have previous experience. I built it to a certain level, and I hired my team, and like there's a business there, but this is not, like, I mean, this is really my first rodeo, right? And so I'm kind of figuring it out as I go, and then going into due diligence without being prepared was like, oh, it was a shitstorm, bro.
Do you not have any mentors or anyone you can speak to?
At the time, no. Yeah. Like, and now I got a great network, but back then it was like me, one of my best friends was kind of my right-hand man, smart as they come, like attorney, and then one of my other best friends, and that was kind of our key, like, thing.
Well, definitely could have been worse.
No, I mean, it worked out, right? It worked out, but I mean, they definitely, like, looking back, you're like, oh, you know, this number is huge. I didn't negotiate at all. Like I guarantee you I could have at least squeezed another 5 out of them on that. And when you start thinking millions, it's like, yeah, you put your feet in the ground and fight. I mean, it's hard to make a couple $1 million. Like, I don't believe what the internet says. I mean, a couple million is like a lot of work. And so when you have that opportunity in that moment where it's like, yeah, they're probably willing to budge on another 3 or 4, it's like the work I'd have to do to rebuild 3 or 4 is like insane. And so what did that feel like then? You've sold it. I don't know did they require you to still? Yeah, they had to stay on. There was an earn out. It was not. So I was reminded I have no interest in ever working for someone ever again. Like, I won't do that again. If I sell another business, I will. It'll be a like.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
it's like you're giving it away. It's now somebody else's, but then you're still required to basically run it. But now you're taking orders from someone else. You can't really do. You have the freedom to do what you really want to do.
No, exactly. And they try to act all friendly with it, like, you know, we're empowering you and this and that.